Nicholas.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pole kwa ilikuwa imeisha, session ilikuwa imeisha. Imerudi.
Yes.
So nimesikiliza malilio yako.
Your Honor.
Naona kwa vile wewe ni mkosaji wa mara ya kwanza, utahurumiwa, lakini sasa hauombi msamaha. Sasa ninashindwa vile nitakupea ya chini zaidi ya ile ya mwisho ya chini yenye inaruhusiwa na sheria. Lakini
kwa naomba msamaha kwanza, na Yohana naomba pia kuna ile uhusiano ya mimi na familia yangu. Yohana, nikipenda pia uangalie hiyo.
Nimeangalia hiyo yote.
Uangalie hiyo na uweze kunihurumia tu kama mzazi. Mimi pia ni mzazi na niko na watoto wawili. Yohana mmoja unajua habari yake, alizaliwa nikiwa hapa gerezani. Yohana na ule mwingine ako shule, na unaweza kuona tu mke wangu hawezi hao watoto kabisa. Yohana, mimi naomba tu msamaha kabisa.
Sawa, nimesikia hiyo. Nimeangalia tena na hii shtaka ulishtakiwa nayo. Ni kubwa. Kwa hivyo nitakupea ile ya mwisho, ile ya chini ya mwisho ambayo ni miaka 20. Miaka 20. Lakini uko na haki ya kukata rufaa kwa siku 14.
Safety and stability we enjoy today. Nevertheless, we continue to face immense challenges in our pursuit of ideals enshrined in Article 244 of our Constitution. These challenges compel us to relentlessly strive for legal, institutional, and constitutional reforms aimed at enhancing the quality and the effectiveness of our police service. The Kriegler report laid a foundation towards police reforms in Kenya. Unfortunately, despite this well-intentioned framework and constitutional backing, meaningful reforms have stalled. Key challenges such as the limited operational independence, inadequate resourcing, and increased cases of police brutality and impunity have reversed much of the initial gain. As such, the promises and ideals of Kriegler report remain largely unfulfilled, even as public demand for a reformed, accountable, and rights-respecting police service continues to intensify. Upon assuming office in 2022, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, established a task force to look into critical reforms in the National Police Service, Kenya Prisons, and National Youth Service. The task force dutifully pointed to the need for several administrative, policy, and legislative reforms. Subsequently, on the 7th of March 2025, His Excellency the President entered a memorandum of understanding with the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, to promote and protect the livelihoods of young people and to guarantee the right to peaceful assembly and protest as provided for under Article 37 of our Constitution. It's against this high-level commitment that the Ministry is intensifying efforts to implement relevant policy and legal reforms aimed at fully realizing the ideals and aspirations espoused in the task force report and the memorandum. These reforms also come at the backdrop of President's decision to ensure, for the first time in the history of Kenya, that the National Police Service operates independently with its independent accounting officer. To further pursuit of recommendations made by the task force, a technical committee on review and development of administrative, policy, and legislative reforms was formed on the 23rd of August 2024. The technical committee, though through the various joint secretaries, held consultative forums with the primary stakeholders. Through these consultations and the proposals submitted to the committee, the following draft bills and new legislation were deployed. The National Police Service Commission Act Amendment Bill to provide for a more robust and independent police commission. the National Police Service Act Amendment Bill to provide for improved working conditions, salaries, terms of service of the police officers, further to address issues of political interference, corruption, inadequate training, and structural challenges within the service. 3, Independent Policing Oversight Authority Amendment Bill to provide for further legislative framework strengthening of IPOA to undertake its constitutional mandate. And then 4, the National Youth Service Amendment Bill to address wider strengthening of NYS with respect to logistical mobility and equipment. 5, Public Order Act Amendment Bill to provide for better management and enforcement of public law and order in the exercise of right of assembly, demonstrations, picketing, and petition under Article 37 of the Constitution. The National Forensic Science Laboratory Authority Bill to provide for further support on the modernization efforts, including establishment of a National Forensic Laboratory to create 10 specialized units to handle different aspects of forensic science. The National Police Service Veterans and Fallen Heroes Bill to address various aspects of welfare of the veterans and the support system for families of the fallen soldiers. All these bills are in the final stage before they can be presented before Cabinet and then tabled in National Assembly and the Senate. As highlighted, it was not always the norm for the police that the police were held accountable for the actions in extrajudicial cases of police brutality. Post the 2010 Constitution, we have had remarkable accountability framework that have led to the punishment of police officers, such as in William Kimani murder in 2016, where 3 police officers were convicted of death for the murder of human rights lawyer Willie Kimani, his client Josephat Mwendwa, and their driver Joseph Mwiruri. B, Baby Samantha Pendo case of 2017, where 4 police officers were charged with the murder of 6-month-old baby Samantha Pendo, who was killed during post-election protests in Kisumu in 2017. 3, Martin Koome murder of 2013, where police officer at the rank of an OCS was found guilty and sentenced to death for torturing a suspect to death inside a cell. Among many other instances that the police have been dealt with, family for breach of law and the Constitution. Although we have experienced worse incidents in the past, the progressive nature of our law and policy will soon make such occurrences rare in our country. Incidents such as bodies being dumped in Yala River, the case of Indian nationals killed in a container at police station, cases of abductions, incarcerations, detention without trial, and recently the death of Mr. Albert Ojwang, while in the hands of police, among others, must be punished by law, and those involved will soon be held accountable. Globally, countries have made significant strides in attaining police reforms. Instances such as public outcry, social movements, and specific instances of violence or misconduct have led to significant and relatable scenarios of police reforms. As a government, we are duty-bound to uphold the highest possible standards in safeguarding the security formulating priority areas of reform and enforcement of law. Our goals remain delivery of professional, accountable, and citizen-centered policing that meets the aspirations of our Constitution. To realize these objectives, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration remains firmly committed to pursue policy and administrative reforms and of international best practices. Upon consultation in the aspiration of fulfillment of Constitution 4, I have today directed the implementation of the following policy reforms framework in the National Police Service. On CCTV surveillance, it shall be mandatory to equip police stations with CCTV surveillance to enhance transparency and accountability. All the police stations, currently standing at 1,209, shall have CCTV surveillance within the next 2 years. We shall be making proposals to Parliament to enact laws that criminalize tampering with CCTV cameras. The surveillance system shall be in the custody of the officer commanding station, and the said officer shall be required to ensure that the system is always functioning, and instances of fault, it shall be reported within 1 hour through the established chain of command. The CCTV shall have an external backup system. It's important for Kenyans to know that the current stations that have CCTVs are not CCTVs that are sanctioned fully by the National Police Service. It was the initiative